Hello everyone. Today we are going to take a jump from 2 dimensions to 3 dimensions. We are going to talk about solid mathematical shapes. You have come across many of them in your childhood, and even later on we find them, so many of them around us. This is a sphere, the ball which we played with, a cube or a dice with which we used to play, and many such things. These are things that come in as wrappings for different things in the household items. We are going to talk about them. Now, this is a cone. I didn't mention cone just now. Everybody knows cone, the ice cream cone. Well, yes. This is just like an ice cream cone. Mathematically, there is a circle at the base and a line moves along the circle and always passing through a fixed point here. And so the surface that it gives us is a cone. So cone has a base, circular base here and a vertex here, and it moves. The height of the cone is, of course, this is the height. As you can see, the blue triangle in the center, the line segment going from here, the side of the triangle from here to the center of the base is the height of the cone. But then what is the triangle for? Well, this is called the slant height. This is called the slant height of the cone, and it is the hypotenuse of that triangle, and it always touches the cone. So this is the slant height, this is the height of the cone. It's sometimes difficult to distinguish between the two. This model can therefore help us in it. Then we have the cylinder. Cylinder, you have a circular base at the top and circular at the, bottom and circular at the top. And now a line moves as in a cone, but it is perpendicular to the base and always passing through the top circle. That gives us the cylinder. We are not going to talk about these two so far as model making is concerned, because a cone, I will take the bigger one, you can always form a cone by wrapping a paper like this. So, or in other words, just like this, and we get a cone. So, cone, cylinder also, we can just take a circular, take this and join, and we'll get a circular with, of course, the two bases. So, we are going to talk about something else besides this, and you also know a prism, a pyramid, and a cuboid. Besides, of course, the cube. The pyramid, we are going to talk about the mathematical aspect, not about a pen stand. The mathematical aspect is this, that these two have something in common and something different. The common thing is that they both have a base, and the base is a polygonal base. This has hexagon, this has a square, that's all right. You can also have a triangular base for a pyramid or a pentagonal base for a pyramid, and same thing for a prism. Now, so they both have a polygonal base. They both have something at the top. This has only one point, pyramid has only one point, prism has the same congruent face at the top, and then we join a side with the two endpoints of the side with the point outside that is given to us, and that gives us a triangle. So based on this side you have a triangle, on this side you have a triangle, and all the four sides you have four triangles. Now this is a pyramid whose base is a square, this is a pyramid whose base is a triangle, and so its lateral faces, the ones that are standing up like this, they are called lateral faces. These are called faces. This will have three faces because the base has three sides. If you take a hexagonal pyramid, or say this one, a pentagonal pyramid, it will have 5 triangular faces. They will always be triangular, but the number will depend upon the base. This will always have rectangular faces. What has been done is that you have taken one side here, the top side corresponding to it, and joined it by forming a rectangle. And you get similar rectangles. And so, the difference is that here you have triangles, here you have rectangles. Because at the top you have a point here, at the top you have a polygon here. How many rectangles will you have here? You will have as many as the number of sides in the base. So that is not fixed. You can have 6, 7, 10. The minimum is of course 3, because the base cannot be less than 3 sides. Okay, that takes care of the pyramid and the prism. Now we should be able to see the mathematical aspect of each of them. Now, one thing, we simply want to understand these models because they are easy to see if you take them in the hand. I'll show you in another case also. Now here, the height of the pyramid is from the center of the base to the vertex. That is the height. As you can see here, it is there is a right triangle inside, and the vertical side is the height of the pyramid. But this is the slant height. For example, if you want to go to climb a mountain, the height of the mountain is this much. But you can't go that way. You have to go from the side, and the shortest will be this one. That is the slant height. So similarly, we can see in the cone. The cone has, this is the height. The blue vertical line of the triangle is the height, and this, which touches the side of the cone, is the slant height. That is the similarity. Well, there is one more thing that we want to do, and that is, we talked about pyramids and prisms, and now cuboid. What is a cuboid? The basic difference between these, the two that we did, and this is that the number of faces is fixed. Here the number of faces will depend upon the polygon that you have at the base. Here it is always 6. They are always rectangles, and they are always, the opposite ones are congruent. So these two are congruent, these two are congruent, and these two are congruent. So you have 3 pairs of congruent rectangles, and they form a cuboid. Now if, the square is also a rectangle, because this is a rectangle, instead of taking all unequals, the two sides unequal, if I take this much and form a square, then also the opposite sides are equal, the angles are right angles, this is a square. It has 6 faces. So a cube is always a cuboid. So all the properties of cuboid are there in a cube, plus some special ones. And for the cube, you also have now 6 faces, and each of them is a square. Alright, one question now before going to something else, and that is this cube, which we are so much used to, is it a pyramid? Is it a prism? Well, it cannot be a pyramid, it doesn't have a point here. Can it be a prism? Yes. It has a square base and a square top, and they are all joined by vertical perpendicular lines. So this is a prism with 4 sides, or you can say quadrilateral prism, triangular prism. The prism is given names depending upon the number of sides of the base. Same thing with pyramid, triangular pyramid, hexagonal pyramid, and so on. Alright, and one more thing, that I already mentioned that it's easier to handle the model, but suppose we draw a cube. Solids are always easy if you handle the model, because if you draw a figure, the figure is on the board or in the notebook, that is 2 dimensions, and therefore it's not easy to visualize. For example, this cube, we want to find check a property of the diagonals of a cube. What is a diagonal? Well, you take the opposite vertices. These are the opposite vertices. You join them and that is the diagonal. Now two things to be noted, this diagonal goes through it from inside. And the second thing is that there are 8 vertices, so we will have 4 diagonals. And the property is that these 4 diagonals are concurrent. We can't see it here. But if we make a model like this, then you can see that these two are opposite vertices and they are joined by this straight line, a string. And it is clear that all the 4 are concurrent. So the advantages of these models is, and a very simple advantage is like this, that suppose we take a cube like this. We are not taking it, we are drawing it. And then I tell somebody who is not used to cubes, somebody new to the idea, that this is a right angle, this is also a right angle. It's hard to believe. But if you have seen this, you know that yes, this is a right angle, that is the front face, and this is the side face, which we do not see in line with it, and it is also a right angle, and it doesn't look like a right angle, but it is. So that is the advantage of handling a model. You can visualize, otherwise everything depends upon imagination. Okay, try to imagine things, try to do things, and try to handle models. Thank you.